Martell is getting a facial, and Miss Marlene just walks in, and first thing she asks the esthetician, "What are you doing to my boy?" Now you see how she truly sees Martell. They have real lighthearted banter together, and Miss Marlene insinuated she was not 60. So I thought that was pretty funny. She and Martell just sit there and talk, and in comes a call from Sheree, who has been rumored that he is dating from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But if anybody else noticed, he made a point to say, "Oh, I ain't doing nothing." And he hurried up and showed that phone to his mama. Showed his mother in the screen so that they could see that his mother was there and he wasn't doing anything. Because the question came up, what is all that chest being shown for? So I guess he had to let Sheree know that, hey, I don't have nothing going on over here. And I guess with his track record, he may have to do that. Him and Miss Marlene sit down and talk, and I still feel like Martell wants his entire family back and under the same roof. Martell, in my opinion, wants Melody back in his life, and not just as a co-parent, but I think he's using co-parent just to appease anybody else that's listening who also may be wondering if he wants his wife back. But I do believe Martell wants his wife back, but Millie is not trying to hear it. It's so funny. She says she not wasting God's time with that kind of prayer. But when he was telling his mom that he was going to therapy, she was like, "Oh, what you need to go for?" And it's my opinion that Ms. Marlene feels like there is absolutely nothing wrong with her son. And Martell has shown a little growth over the last couple of seasons, because now he sees that there's nothing wrong with going to therapy, because he said that he was against it. But then he came around and he feel like it's doing him some good. But I didn't like the fact that she still throws shade at Melody, you know, and says underhanded negative things about Melody. A lot of things about Melody, and I think that's going to backfire on her. Eventually, Miss Marlene feel like Melody may be saying negative things about the kids. I mean, about Martell to the kids. And I think she was all the way out of pocket when she said she needs to stop being bitter, pretty much. And she needs to be a woman. I'm like, now, Miss Marlene, Melanie was a woman all that time she was married to your son, and now she not a woman. I'm like, come on, Miss Marlene, you got to do better on that one. It was so hilarious when Stormy and Courtney was in the kitchen talking about the baby and the breast milk. Courtney feels like the baby now is eating food, so he should no longer have breast milk. Wasn't that Courtney saying? Parents need to be in charge, not the toddlers. Also in this episode, Stormy made a statement that she would like to breastfeed all of the children, and he was adamant. He said, "I don't want any more kids." And she couldn't understand why. And he said, "You almost died." And again, she was like, "Well, what about a surrogate?" He was like, "I don't want somebody else carrying my baby." And she was like, "Well, you know, we may have to consider other options." And he was adamant he didn't want. But you know what? Yeah, I thought it was strange that he didn't really give a clear answer why he did not want any children. And when she pressed him, he pretty much told her, "I don't need to give you an answer. I don't need to explain anything to you." And the way he cut her off, I was like, that's very interesting. But I did like in their confessionals how they looked like they were just so smitten with each other. That was really cute. But I said, we're going to see how that's going to play out. The way he told her, "I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you an explanation." And I just think when you're married, you need to explain something, if asked, to your partner. And so her mother came over, and she was mentioning to her mother, I can't, you know what, I'm not even going to guess at what her mom's name is right now because I don't remember. But she was mentioning to her mother that Courtney didn't want any more kids. And they talked about it, and the mother said, you know, well, maybe he's scared or traumatized because she had almost died. And you know, Stormy said she hadn't thought about it that way. So I guess she's going to take that in consideration. But the mama found a way to get on the subject of Melody. And then they showed how the mom had been on social media saying slick stuff to Melody. Melody was responding back to her mom. And I know Stormy said that she felt like she was in the middle because she's the one that's on TV. And the mama was pretty much saying, "No, I can handle it." And Stormy was like, "No, it's not really like that. I'm the one that's going to get the blowback from all of your social media antics." And Stormy said she really wished her mom would go back to reading and just get off social media. Stormy's mom said that she was not going to apologize for any of her social media posts. She said, because that's something I don't do. Well, Melody is at home making chocolate-covered pretzels with the kids, and that seemed like that's a lot of fun. But she also talks about having to make the phone calls to the people that Kimmy wanted her party that she really don't want to call. But she says she got a little trap phone, so she'll be using that so no one will have her real telephone number. So she calls Martell. And she tells Martell about the party. So he was like, okay, cool. He's going to be there. But then he brings up about the conversation that they had the previous day. During that conversation, he asked her if she would pray about their situation. Now, Martell is saying he want her to pray about them having a better co-parenting relationship. But like I said earlier, I think Martell wants her to pray about possibly coming back and being in his life as his mate. But Melody also calls Letitia on the phone. And Letitia was like, I'ma always support Kimmy, but she just wasn't feeling no call out the blue from Melody. And I'm sure Melody was not feeling calling her. But the ultimate goal was to get her invited to the party and for her to say that she's going to be there. And that is what happened. During Martell's confessional, he's asked about Cherie and their relationship. And you know what? I don't care what anybody says. Martell is not that into Cherie, in my opinion, because when he was talking about her, there was just an emptiness in his eyes. And it's almost if he's just doing this to pass the time. But again, I believe that he wants Melody back. They all end up at the party at some bowling place for Kimmy's event. Marceau, Tisha, some family members, I think Kimmy's parents. Martell comes in with a beautiful bouquet of flowers. Stormy and Courtney come, and you can tell there were other family and friends there. And lo and behold, Martell brings up the prayer. I say, Martell, this is not the time to be talking to Kimmy about her prayers. And why is he so adamant about her prayers? That's why I say he wants her to pray about coming back to him. Again, Melody says she is not wasting her time with that prayer. But it seemed like it was a good event. Kimmy was excited that people were there. You could tell she got a little emotional while she was talking. And that was just a third of the battle she's going to have that she was faced with breast cancer. She has to go through some type of surgery. I'm not sure if it's a mastectomy or not, but some type of surgery and then radiation. So overall, that was the first episode. I'm sure that we're going to get a lot more this season with Love and Marriage Huntsville.